back there? You good back there? Press the AC? Mama's freezing, so I know you gotta be feeling it back there. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Tiffany 100 Plus, Savannah Dogs of Everglades, Florida. I am here with Mario. We are on our way to Southeast Veterinary Neurology. We are headed to get his 60-second Cytosar infusion treatment. What you doing? You're right back down. We're headed to get his 60-second Cytosar infusion treatment. Those of you that follow the page and follow his story, you know that last Friday was supposed to be the day that he got his treatment. But we got up there, they checked him out. No, get down. Excuse me. Hey. Excuse me. They checked him out, they did his blood work, and they noticed that his white cell count was very, very low, and that it had dropped even lower than it had 3 weeks prior when they tested it. So, after much deliberation with the neurologist, going off of her guidance and expertise, we decided to push off the treatment a week to give his body a chance to regenerate his white cells before we knocked him down again with this treatment. It could have been very dangerous if we would have given him the treatment last week. It could have made him he's already extremely susceptible to diseases and to picking things up. Anything from the common cold to stomach bugs to eye ulcers to really anything. But if we would have given him the treatment, it would have dropped his white cells even lower, making him like critically susceptible. And not only that, it would have made him feel pretty crappy, and that could have caused him to have nausea and vomiting, which could have caused him to aspirate. I mean, it was better to wait. It wasn't an easy decision by any means, because putting off his treatment could mean a relapse, could mean the disease takes hold a little stronger. Things could happen, like he loses vision in his good eye, his balance, anything, and there's no guarantee we would get those things back with the treatment at this stage. So it wasn't an easy decision, but like I said, after a very, very lengthy conversation with the neurologist and going back and forth, I decided to defer to her and her knowledge and waited a week. I have kept a very close eye on him all week. I've been testing him, doing things with him, checking his limbs, checking his eyesight, checking everything. He did bump into a few things at night, or like right when we came in from the outside, so I'm going to chalk that up to his eyes adjusting, just like people do, because those were the only times it happened. And like I said, it was almost like once his eyes adjusted to being from outside in the bright, bright sun to being back inside, he was fine. So we are headed now back up there. They're going to do their usual exam on him, and then they are going to check his blood again to see where his level's at and to make sure that he's okay. I do not believe we can push this off again. So even if his white cells hoping that they have regenerated enough that he is at a stable state and he'll be able to handle the treatment and he'll be fine. I did continue to give him antibiotics this week, just in case, because we didn't know exactly why his white cells had dropped within 3 weeks, even lower. So it could have been that his body was fighting the infection that we were treating, and it just fought really hard and it depleted all his white cells, or he could have had an infection someplace else that just wasn't visible to us. Like a UTI, but he wasn't showing any symptoms for, or, something else going on. So I did have antibiotics at home, and I did continue them for this week, just in case. So, like I said, we're headed there now. They are going to examine him. They're going to take his blood, and then I am hoping I will get the phone call that says his white cell has increased, and he's good to go. Right, mister? Right, mister? I can tell you that he has been his normal, happy, goofy, loving, affectionate, silly self. He still had the energy to pull Benny bones out of his brother's mouths while they were chewing on them. He was still jumping all over me in bed and snuggling and then chasing my hands. It's one of his favorite things to do, is bite my fingers and my hands when he gets in that kind of mood. And he was able to follow my hands as I was moving them around, and no problems, no deficiencies that I could see or that I could tell. And I watch him like a hawk. I have for the last 3.5+ years, because I'm always looking for little discrepancies in his day-to-day, or little tweaks, or little things that start happening or may happen that are a little bit different. That's how I was able to catch a lot of the stuff that had happened to him in the last 3.5 years, and catch it really early so that we were able to fix it. Because the slightest little thing that is abnormal stands out to me, because I watch him so closely. The slightest little slip of his leg, or the little wince in his eye, or a slight little head tilt. That's how we were able to catch his inner eye, or his inner ear infection. That's how we were able to catch the ulcers the 2 times. So I can tell you that I have not seen anything this week that would make me think that he regressed in any way, which makes me very, very happy, because it was a very nerve-wracking week. Just knowing that we were putting it off, and I had a crazy week at work, which made it even worse. But so we've kind of been like team no sleep the last couple days, but hopefully he'll be good. He'll be resting today with them. He will get his Cytosar in a round of 4 shots instead of the infusion. That is the new way that we are doing it with him now. Instead of him having to be hooked up to an IV for 8 hours, which was damaging his ventricle system, and his veins in his legs, which would make it very, very dangerous if he did have a severe issue or a critical issue where he had to be hospitalized. You don't want making sure that changing the way he gets the drugs does not affect the way that his body absorbs them and the treatment that it gives him. So thus far it has not, and he's been doing well. So we will continue on this route, which is 4 sub-Q injections of the Cytosar. They give it just like you would give sub-Q fluids. It's a needle in the back, between the shoulder blades, and they give him 1 injection sub-Q, and they wait like an hour, just make sure everything is okay. Then they give him a second one. After they give him the second one, they usually call me and let me know the time frame to come pick him up. Then they give him the third, and then they give him the fourth, and then I go pick him up. And usually, like right now, we'll probably get there at 9. By the time they do his blood work and everything, they may start him at 10. And usually I get the call at around 2 that I can pick him up at 4. So the other good thing is that it is a much shorter day for him. It's a much easier day on him. He's super happy when I come pick him up. He comes running out the door, just all happy. When I drive him home, he usually takes a nap in the back, but instead of licking at his paw, he's totally calm and serene. Where because he was hooked up to an IV in the past, anybody who knows, anybody who's been in a hospital setting and they've put an IV in your arm, you know that it's not painful, but it aches because your arm gets cold from the IV fluids and it gets a little achy. So when he did have to have it done that way, he would lick at his foot and his leg that night after treatment. But now, since we don't do it that way anymore, he does not do that, and he's doing great. And the biggest thing is there is no change, there is no decline with the change in how we are giving him the treatment. So that's the best part, right, Mister? So I will keep you guys informed as always. If you could spare a little prayer for him, hoping that his white cells have regenerated, and that he's in a good place. And I will, of course, update you guys when I pick him up later this afternoon and let you know how everything went. I also have the donate button on this video, as well as all of the links to donate in the verbiage, the PayPal, the Cash App, and the Venmo. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. I believe Zelle is on there too now, along with our mailing address. So if you would like to make a donation towards Mario's treatment today and his ongoing treatment, I would be very, very grateful. He did not have treatment last week, but we still had a bill to pay because he was hospitalized for a few hours. He did have an exam. He did have blood work. So we did have a bill last week, even though he did not have treatment. And he will have his full bill today, along with extra for the blood work that they're going to do, which is unfortunately a necessity for him with what we've been kind of battling. So if you could find it in your heart to make a donation, we would be very, very grateful. I know I would be very, very grateful. do what we do without all of you. You guys are the backbone of this organization. We couldn't do it alone. So you guys are the reason that Mario is still here. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So, thank you. Okay, I'm getting off the highway now. So, like I said, as soon as I have an update on him, or when I pick him up later this afternoon, I will come live again and give you guys a full update. Thank you all so much. Once again, this is Tiffany and Mario, 100 plus abandoned dogs of Everglades.